As John Wayne said, courage is being scared to death and saddling up anyway. Here's the secret. The people that do the most with their lives, the people that seem the most self-assured, the ones that seem to embody confidence, the ones that seem to define confidence, they're the ones that had to face down the most fear. They simply didn't linger in it. They faced up, they took action, and in action, they began to tame the fear. And that's the most ironic thing about being a human, is the very thing that you're terrified of doing, actually taking a step into the unknown, taking that step is the very thing that will cure the fear. It's the very thing that's going to suppress that. It's the very thing that's going to give you the confidence, because in that moment, all you're trying to do is process what's around you, and your brain does not have the opportunity to explore and be afraid at the same time. And when you understand that, when you understand that the ally that you have is movement, the ally that you have is momentum, the thing that you don't need to be afraid of is fear, because that will be quelled by doing something. That will be quelled by facing your fear. That will be quelled by saddling up even when you are at your most terrified. And as Samuel Johnson said, great works are performed not by strength, but by perseverance. It's facing that fear and going after it anyway. It's falling down, the very thing that you were terrified of, embarrassing yourself in front of people, and getting back up. And that's the key. Getting back up is all that matters. You're all going to fall. Every one of us are going to embarrass ourselves, not once, not twice, but over and over and over, if we're lucky, because it means that we tried. It means that we got up. It means that we cured our fear by taking action. It means that we took a risk. It means that we put something at risk. It means that we took that fragile part of ourselves that lives inside, that wants to hide, that wants to move backwards, and we ripped it open and we laid it bare and we said, what will come, and whatever it is, I'm gonna learn from that. Whatever it is, I'm gonna push through that. Whatever it is, I'm going to persevere, because on the other side of perseverance is a sense of self, a sense of confidence, of being reborn, of being something new, because you built upon yourself. You took that ember of fear and you turned it into something powerful, because you weren't afraid. You didn't back down. You weren't worried that that would be a permanent state. You understood that it was only a step on a longer journey. And when you can see your life as a long journey, and that you know perseverance is what it demands, then you'll stay the course. Then you'll win. As Buckminster Fuller said, there's nothing in a caterpillar that tells you that it's going to be a butterfly. And welcome to the human condition. That's the truth of what it's like to be a person. You're hoping that you turn inward and see some sign, some glimmer, some gift that you have that's been bestowed upon you, that you were born with, that is your very birthright. But there's nothing. You were born hopelessly average. And the sooner that you accept that, the sooner that you accept that you are no better than anyone that came before you and everyone that's going to come after you, but all of us have potential. And so the question becomes, the question you have to answer with your very life, the question that your actions will answer. What are you going to do with that potential? Will you actuate it? Will you bust your ass to get good? Will you get so good over time that you can play with the greats? Will you get so good that people look at you with awe? Can you get so good that you become the excuse that other people use not to try? Can you get so good that people have to dismiss you as naturally talented? Can you get so good that people refuse to believe that they can get that good? Can you work so hard, gaining a set of skills and driving yourself day after day to get better, never accepting who you are, always pushing yourself forward, always demanding more, and seeing the beauty in what you can become, and knowing that even today, as a caterpillar with nothing to indicate that you'll become a butterfly, can you become the butterfly through sheer force of will? Because if you can become that, you become a beacon of hope, not for other people, for yourself, because you prove that there really are no limits. And as Walt Disney said, you may not realize it when it happens, but a kick in the teeth may be the best thing in the world for you. Why? Because it's the thing that's going to make you react. It's the thing that's going to hold you down. It's the thing that is going to make you say, never again. no more. I refuse to accept this about myself. I refuse to accept that I'm average. I refuse to accept that I can't be something more. I refuse to stop when something kicks me in the teeth. I refuse to stop when people hate on me or tell me that I can't do something. I refuse to be dictated to by anyone, even my own potential. I refuse to be held back by anything, least of all me. And when you get that in your head, when you know that you can transcend even yourself, that negative voice in your head, that even getting kicked, even failing, getting knocked down, and being covered in blood, mud, dirt, everything that would try to stop you, that you'll rise up and that you'll keep pushing and that you'll define what you're going to become. When you have that in your mind, then you become unstoppable. Then you are the caterpillar that becomes the butterfly, but you have to be willing to take the knocks. You have to be willing to make the sacrifices. You have to be willing to suffer. And when you're willing to suffer, you can become anything, because it's in that process of breaking and mending and growing and shaping that you realize that you are both the sculptor and the marble. And therein lies the pain of creation. But in that, you can create yourself to be anything you want. So the question isn't, can you do it? It's only, are you willing to do it? Never give up on what you really want to do. The person with big dreams is more powerful than the person with all the facts. H. Jackson Brown. Truer words have never been spoken. It is one of the most interesting things about the human condition, that all of the facts in the world, no matter how true something may objectively really be, the only thing that matters is whether or not you've got the energy to see through to the end of what you want to do. And the energy comes not from truth. The energy comes from your dream. The energy comes from what it is that you want to do. The energy ultimately is born out of what you want to create. It's born out of a willingness to allow yourself to dream. It's born out of a willingness to think that you actually can do it. It's born out of a willingness to take that first step. But the only reason that you're going to take that first step is you believe that you can actually make your dreams come true. And that sense of this thing that you have in your mind, that you can make it real, that you can bring it into the real world and have that excitement that you've long fantasized about and understand and really feel in your gut, that that thing that you've dreamed about can be real. And when you have that, that's when you're going to have the energy that you need to push and to fight and to go through all of the difficult things that you're gonna have to get on the other side and make that dream real. As Ferdinand Foch said, the most powerful weapon on earth is the human soul on fire. But the human soul can't be on fire without a dream. A human soul is not fed by facts. A human soul is fed instead by a belief that it can accomplish what it wants to accomplish. It's fed by that thing, that idea that you've had in your mind, that you fanned those flames of interest and turned it into a real fascination and fanned those flames further into excitement and allowed yourself to truly embody that belief that you can make it happen. So right now, whatever it is, whatever crazy dream you have, and we all have one, stop judging yourself for it. Stop telling yourself that you can't do it, and understand when you cultivate that fire, when you take that little ember and you fan it into a raging inferno, that thing, that human soul on fire is what's going to allow you to build something that the world has never seen before. But it starts with that dream. It starts with your willingness to cultivate that, to think about it, to allow yourself to do that, because so many people stop themselves. They think they're inadequate. They think that they could never do it. And even if that is a fact, it's not something that's going to help you live a life that excites you. It's not something that's going to help you excite other people. The one thing that will do that is the dream. So right now, allow yourself that, simply to dream. As Joseph Campbell said, find a place inside where there's joy, and the joy will burn out the pain. Now I get it. Life inevitably comes with some degree of misery, and I get it. For many of you, things have happened in your past that are unspeakable. And whether that's something big or whether it's something small, each one of us has something inside of us that hurts. It's something that we wish weren't so. It's something that we focus on when we're alone. It's the thing that keeps us up at night. It's the thing that wakes us up in the morning. It's the thing that we obsessively come back to over and over and over for whatever reason that we think means that we're not good enough. But I also know that inside each one of us is something beautiful, that even in the midst of pain, if you allow yourself to focus on that, to feel the joy, to not just think about it, but to actually feel the joy, it will begin to crowd out the pain. It will actually take that room. And just like when you're trying to create something amazing in your life, do not waste time trying to tear down the old. If you're trying to create something beautiful in your life, spend all of your time trying to build that new thing. So if you want to feel joy, don't try to eradicate the pain. Instead, focus all of your energy on that joy and let it become so bright that it ultimately takes over the pain. And as Aristotle said, it is during our darkest moments that we must focus to see light. And that's the thing with pleasure and pain. When you've got that ache inside of you, when you feel that something in your past is stopping you from moving forward, it is in that moment that you must put your focus and attention on the things that are good, on the things that you've done that are good, on the joys and the beauty and the things in your life that you're grateful for, all of that. If you take your time and you put your focus on that, even when it hurts, especially when it hurts. If you're able to do that, if you're able to find a way to take all of your energy and put it on that, to repeat it, to let it become a mantra, to let it be the first thing you think about when you wake up, the last thing you think about in the night, and the thing that you cling to when you wake up and cannot fall asleep, if you let it be that thing, that you can put all of your attention on that, then you can actually change your chemistry. You can actually change your own story. You can actually change your life. But you've got to know it's in our darkest moments that we must focus on the light. Happy New Year, everybody. I hope this time of year is as exciting for you guys as it is for me, and I definitely think about new beginnings, but I don't think about resolutions. And the reason that I don't think about resolutions, and the reason that I hope you guys don't think about resolutions either, is as Mary Shelley said, the beginning is always today. And that's the important thing. Whenever you're hearing this video, whether it's at the first of the year or not, whatever moment this is finding you, I want you to take this moment to realize that you can make whatever change you want to make in your life. As Napoleon Hill said, first comes thought. The beginning, as you will observe, is in the imagination. And that's the key to getting started, is you have to understand that you already have everything that you want, but you've got to think about what it is you're trying to create in your life first. You've got to define that, starting with the goal and understanding where it is that you want to go, and then having the courage to take that first step. You've got to have that courage. You've got to have that willingness to step forward into the unknown, not knowing where it's going to go, not knowing what you're going to have to do to get there, and not overwhelming yourself by looking at the entire task, but rather taking a single step. And as Theodore Roosevelt said, far and away, the best prize that life has to offer is the chance to work hard at work worth doing. This is where everybody fails. This is the thing that is the great destroyer of dreams. People want it to be easy. And the only people that are going to succeed are the ones that really understand that the prize that life has to offer is to really pour yourself into something that is worthwhile, to gain a set of skills that are going to serve other people, to do something, to have a vision that's bigger than yourself, and to go after it with everything that you have. But ask yourself, when was the last time you poured yourself into doing something, where you gave yourself over completely and totally to something? Because that's what success is going to demand of you. If you're really going to
tap into the human ability to adapt, to grow, to get better, to become capable of the extraordinary, to really do something that is going to change people's lives, whether yours or somebody else, you've got to fall in love with the process of busting your ass for something that you believe in. And if you can do that, if you can identify that thing that you're willing to give yourself over to and take that first step in courage, without knowledge, without knowing exactly where it's going to end up, but believing in yourself, having faith in yourself that you can do it, then you'll be able to accomplish anything you set your mind to. And no matter what day today is, no matter when this message is reaching you, whether it's the first of the year or it's a random fucking Tuesday, start now. Start now.